the matriculants of 2020 are making their final preparations ahead of their exams, which start on the 5th of November. The COVID-19 pandemic forced schools to close for several months now. Pupils had to adapt to this new normal, which included online lessons. After several months of lost contact learning, the Matric class of 2020 face what could be their most challenging exams. But has government done enough to ensure that pupils are prepped for the finals? Joining me to discuss this is education activist and Matric pupil at JB Matabane Secondary School, Lawrence Manakala. But first, let's take a look at what Basic Education Department spokesperson Elijah Mtlanga has to say about the support given to learners to complete the curriculum.
For the Matric class, they did not lose as many days. I'm saying this because through the revised calendar, we're able to recover some of the lost days. And through the learner support programs that have been put in place as well by provinces, we've been able to recover and get them additional opportunities for more tuition, which means revision and additional teaching, which has been happening over Saturdays and Sundays, something which we have monitored. So most schools have actually completed the curriculum, if not all of them. In fact, in all the provinces where we have visited, schools are saying that the Matric class actually finished. And we are confident they have, because they went back to school in the first week of June, and since then they've been in school and they've been learning, so they were able to cover everything. The days that they lost were actually 47, and they've been able to recover those and are now using the time for revision purposes. So we believe that there is no crisis at that level. Yes, there could be the trauma and anxiety, but through the work that our partners have helped us to do to calm the situation down and make them focus on their work, we should be on track.
All right, now, Lawrence, thanks once more for joining us. Lawrence Manakala is an education activist and a Matric pupil at the JB Matabane Secondary School. Thank you for your time, Lawrence. A stressful period for matriculants during this time. I mean, this is uncharted territory, especially if you try and compare matriculants from this year to the year before.
Good morning, Jacob, and thank you for having me. Indeed, it has been a very traumatic year. It has been, filled with a lot of anxieties. With just the class of 2020, the biggest question that they've been asking is, are we going to make it? Is it possible, given the time that we had and, schools having to close and reopen because of positive cases that were found in the school?
Okay, now you tell me, how have you been preparing personally for your Matric exams, considering what type of year you've had?
Well, I've been trying to get ahead myself at my home, and I also have extra help from other people. So that is all that I've been trying to do. And also I try to take advantage of, the secondary school improvement program that the department has also put in place. Even though it has not been too effective, I think I had to rely on other people aside, from my teachers and also myself here at home more.
And in terms of the school year, do you think that what you've learned is enough to put together a Matric exam?
Well, it's not in all subjects. Well, in other subjects, I can say yes, it is enough, but then it's not really enough. Yes, we've completed the syllabus in other subjects, but then, you understand that not all the subjects are equal. Others are very critical, so you have to put in more time on other subjects so that you can be able to cover them all. And, with you putting more time on the others, at some point, you also have to neglect, the other ones that you think are not critical. Therefore, you don't get enough preparation, for the exams that are coming. So I can say that, I'm prepared for others. Just for others, I'm still going to try and cover up everything. But then so far, I don't think I'm ready to go. But then, I'm still willing to give it a try, though.
How much of your schooling year was done online, and did it help in any way?
Well, the hours, or let me say the days that I spent probably online was, during lockdown, but then, it has not always been easy for me to get access, maybe to the online material, because, we couldn't get zero-rated, sites and everything, and data. And leaving data out of this, also network coverage, in our areas, it's also a huge problem. So you might have data to access the material, but then because of network strength and signal, you cannot be able to access, those materials. So I did not do much on, on online learning, but then I did try to take a few Zoom classes during my lockdown, and also to try whenever I have proper signal to get material from the GDE side.
In your perfect world, what is your perfect scenario? Do you think that maybe an extended term or a different date to write exams would be a better scenario for you and many other matriculants out there?
I think, probably maybe an extended term, could do, because, well, we're not done with everything. I understand, the department might be trying to cover up time for matriculants so that we can try and get into university, next year. But then if we are moving at this rate, I don't see many learners making it to university, because, a lot of them are just sitting there just waiting to rewrite. A lot of them have already lost hope because there was a lot to cover. Like I said, with us going back to school, the department has set out a number of days for us to be able to cover up, but then that was just not possible because we had to keep on opening and reclosing, opening and reclosing, because of there were cases that were found at school. So I don't think the time that they've put in place, we utilized it to the best, because of the cases that we had to encounter at school. So an extended term will be rather much better.
Now, when you look at when you started the school year and how many matriculants were around you, is that number a lot less now? Have you seen some matriculants or friends around you decide to write off the year and rather pick up matric and start afresh next year?
Well, in my school, I think I've only seen one learner so far, but then, most learners are back. Like I said, they're just willing maybe to give it a try, hoping that, the exams won't be as hard as they are, each and every year. So they're also trying to say, let's salvage this year and see what could happen. But then, I think every learner will have wanted an extended time more than anything, because we understand, like I said, the matric year, it's a very busy year, with learners having to do cross nights, with learners having to spend their weekends, having to go to school actually Monday to Sunday and also put in extra hours instead of leaving at 3, having to leave at 6 and everything. And that was not possible during the lockdown time. And when we came back, we still had, short time. So in my school, I've only seen, I think it's one learner that has left schooling, and the learner is still willing to give it a try. But then others are there, but then, they're not happy. The anxiety is still there. They're still facing, these issues each and every day, and they're just hoping that it will be better, or the exams will be, much better.
Now, do you think COVID-19 exposed our schooling system or our education system? And does it say that our education system is lacking in some way?
COVID-19 has exposed the system thoroughly. It has shown how grossly unequal the system is. It was shown when the president had to close schools, had to close public schools and leave the private schools remaining. It has also shown when we had to go into the online learning, understanding that, we still have learners who do not even have textbooks. Now, how are they even going to get access, to the online streams? We have learners in the deep rural areas that do not even have network coverage, that do not even have mobile phones or TV. So it was a huge problem. It has just shown the deep inequalities that are within the educational system, leaving, many learners or many education activists asking themselves, what is the department trying to do? Because it is not intentional about anything. We still have the norms and standards that are still lacking, that are being, advocated by several movements. We still have, we had what you guys call the department being sued by Equal Education over, the school meals, or Equal Education litigating on the school meals issue. So it just shows that the educational system, it's not equal on its own. And others can say that it has not been valuing learners from, public schools.
All right, Lawrence Manakala, we'll leave it right there. That was matric learner Lawrence Manakala talking to us about how he's feeling as the final matric exams draw closer amid a global pandemic. It seems as though the show must go on.